Hey, welcome back. Dallas City Council may move to go a little bit easier on people caught with small amounts of marijuana. Defense attorney, former police officer, former prosecutor Pete Schulte here. This is something called cite and release. Sounds like when you go fishing, catch and release.
Correct.
But write a ticket, basically, and order someone to appear in court.
Correct. And basically, under state law, it doesn't reduce the offense from a Class B misdemeanor. A Class B misdemeanor is the same as like a first-time DWI. So what they're doing is they're releasing somebody on a personal recognizance bond on the side of the road.
Right.
Telling them you need to appear in county court when you're notified.
But it's still a serious crime.
Correct.
It's the middle level of misdemeanor.
It is, and it's in every other situation, they have to be taken into custody, taken to jail,
right, and
post a bond so they know when to come to court. The problem with cite and release is this, is that if somebody doesn't show up to court, it shifts the burden of getting them to court to the sheriff's office, to the DA's office. And so for the city to say, hey, we want to do this, they've got to get the entire criminal justice system on board, and I don't think they're there yet.
Right. And attitudes about marijuana, particularly small amounts of marijuana for personal use, are changing, even in a conservative state like Texas.
Oh, I agree. I mean, when I started as an officer in the late 90s, I mean, you had a joint, you went to jail, you went to the joint, right? Pretty good, right? As we talked about that. But, you know, what I am telling officers now, I mean, there's two ways to really handle, actually three ways to really handle it. If they stop somebody and they have a little bit of a joint, a lot of officers that I know that I still talk to on a regular basis, they return it to nature. Right. They say, hey, you have this, don't do this. This is not, don't ruin your life over marijuana.
Right.
The other option, which a lot of police departments are doing, is they're decriminalizing it in their city on their own. There's a statute in Texas called criminal attempt, and obviously what that means is if you put the word attempted before a statute, it reduces it one level. So in a Class B misdemeanor possession of marijuana, if you write a ticket for attempted possession of marijuana, it makes it a Class C misdemeanor, the equivalent of a speeding ticket, goes into the municipal court, and the municipal court handles it. And so a lot of departments are doing that. It keeps it in the city. I hate to say it's driven by money, but the money stays in the city. Everything's handled in the municipal court. So the third option is to arrest them on the Class B, and it really dictates how people react to the police and so forth.
The first gatekeeper in the whole process, if you're driving and you get pulled over and the officer sees a joint in your car, a little bit of baggie, whatever it is, that police officer is the first gatekeeper for the criminal justice system. Just like in the old days, if you got pulled over and you'd been drinking too much, the officer might say, walk home, call a cab.
Correct.
Sleep it off.
Right.
They don't say that anymore.
No.
But that still is the first gatekeeper, is that police
officer.
have
absolute discretion. And even now, I mean, I'm still commissioned as a reserve officer. I work occasionally, and I'll pull somebody over, and I'll see a little bit of weed. I mean, most of the time, if they're cooperative, it flies off into the wind.
Right. Just say, basically dump it out by the side of the road.
As long as they're not under the influence because of DWI. Now, of course, as you talked about DWI, over the last 20 years with body cams, in-car video, you can't do what we used to be able to do 30 years ago by let people go because they can go pull the video.
Right.
But marijuana, the dichotomy is that in West Texas, they're still pretty hardcore about it. Here in the urban areas, the police officers have a lot more latitude. So, you know, if the legislature does something and tries to say like under a half an ounce, because under 2 ounces is the Class B, which is a lot of marijuana. They try to make under half an ounce a Class C. It kind of takes the three options away from the police, but makes it statewide.
Right, and there is this proposal down in Austin, the companion proposal.
Right.
But Governor Abbott has said, no, it's still a drug, it's still illegal under federal law, and no, it ain't going to happen here in Texas.
Right, so the cities are going to have to make that call. And I know Dallas, I've talked to several elected officials on the council to Dallas to kind of talk to the police department about doing this reduction on their own by attempted possession, make it a Class C. And I encourage officers to do that in the right situations.
Okay, thanks very much for your perspective.
Absolutely.
We got more to come here on Good Day. We're going to look at plans to turn around a century-old school building in downtown Dallas into something vibrant and new instead of the other idea, tearing it down. People in one neighborhood near a college campus on alert after this woman was found strangled in her apartment.